Today we have a Maytag dryer, gas dryer that spins but will not heat. And this is a pretty common problem. It usually occurs because the dryer vent tube gets too clogged. So we're going to fix it, just take a couple minutes. We're going to be replacing this part here, which is called the high limit or the thermal fuse. And it's pretty easy to get to. We took out a couple of screws below this bottom panel, and we're going to use standard head screwdriver to kind of pry it down, and then I'm going to pull on the lower part of it with both hands and pull out that panel. And we can see there's some lint that's accumulated inside the dryer, so we'll clean all that up, and I'll go ahead and turn it off, and we'll do a little bit of testing here. This is a multi-tester that...
Hey guys, can you take just a second to click on the subscription link below? It really helps our channel, and also the bell notification, so every time we make a new video we can send it right to you. We make a new video about once every week. Really appreciate that, and if you give us a thumbs up, it'd be great. Thank you.
The multi-tester can help you check for voltage at the igniter. We'll put a link in the description for this multi-tester. And I have it set for AC voltage. I'm going to put these two probes into the plastic modular jack for the igniter and just pushing them all the way in as far as they'll go. And then when you turn on the dryer, after at least a couple of minutes, it should show that you're getting 120 volts going to the igniter. But if you're not, then the thermal fuse, that little white fuse, only costs about $8, has blown, and it's preventing power from getting to the igniter, so you never would get a flame, you'd never get heat. So it'd be easy to fix it. We just got to pull it out and replace it. Amazon can send it to you probably within a day if you need one. It lives right back here where the camera's looking. It's a little hard to get to just reaching in there, but we'll have to do a slight amount of removal of components. We're going to take out a couple of screws here and here, and the silver thing is called and these two screws too, this is called the filter cowling, and we'll pull out the filter out of the dryer, and then we're going to use a 1/4-inch drive to remove a screw that's up here in the corner. I'm sorry the camera couldn't get up there, but right where my fingers are, about 3 inches up there, there's a little screw at the top of that silver cowling or the filter housing, and we're going to take that one out, and then there's one up in the other corner that we have to remove. I'm using a little ratchet to get in there, and then there's going to be two Phillips head screws here on the front of the dryer. We want to remove those, and that's going to allow us to pull back a little bit on the front panel, just at the bottom. It's going to sway out a little bit. It gives us more room to get up in there and do this next piece. So I just pulled it out by about 4 or 5 inches. Now I can reach up in there and get the 1/4-inch drive on the other 1/4-inch screw that's holding in the top of this housing. Now I can pull the housing out. It's going to give me more room to get to that thermal fuse. I use a pair of pliers to push in and pull out this wire retaining piece so I can get this filter housing out of the way. There we go. All right, I got a 1/4-inch drive that I'll use. First I'll pry up on the two power wires that were going to the thermal fuse, and I'll pull those off. Make sure you have it unplugged. And I'm going to take out one little 1/4-inch screw that's holding in the thermal fuse, and I'm going to then slide it to my left to be able to pull it out of the housing. There it is. I'll test it now with my multi-tester for continuity. It should beep. When I tested it beeps, but when I put it on the thermal fuse it doesn't beep. It got too hot because the dryer vent tube was clogged, and that shut it off. So we're just removing any of the lint that we can see to reduce the chance of a fire. Here's the link in the description below for this thermal fuse. Again, they're pretty inexpensive. We're going to put it in position and we're going to slide it a little bit to the right to lock it in, and then we'll put the 1/4-inch screw in there to hold it. I'll just spin that in with my hand, and then I'll use a ratchet, and then I'll put I'm using the needle nose pliers to put the 2 wires back on to the terminals. I'm just going to slide those on nice and secure. And now electricity is going to flow through and we'll have good heat. This is the dryer vent tube. This one's kind of up high near the stairs, so I'm using this tool. We'll put a link in the description below for this. It hooks up to your drill. It's pretty cool. It has 3-foot sections, and you can use it to go further and further in. And as you spin it, it breaks up the lint, and as you pull your tool back, it will pull the lint out of the tube. This stuff just builds up over the years. Make sure you wear a mask when you do this so you don't inhale any of that dust. So I'll go back and forth, sped up the camera here a little bit, but a lot of lint came out. I'd say enough to form about 2 basketballs, that much volume. So now we're just undoing all those, pulling off the 3-foot links, and then I'll just put that in my car for next time. So this is the filter housing. I'm reaching in there before I do the reassembly, and I'm cleaning that out. That's really common for that to get super clogged. So it's really good to clean these out. You don't have to take the whole dryer apart though to clean this out. You can just pull out the filter and reach in there and clean a lot of that out while it's still in the dryer. So I'm putting in that housing, pushing it back up into position, and then I'll add those 1/4-inch screws up in the corners. And then I still have the front panel pulled out a little bit to give me some nice access. So get that pushed up in there, add those screws in there. And I'm using a ratchet so I can get into that tighter space. Tighten that up. So now I'm just adding the 1/4-inch screws into the filter housing and making sure they're all put back. And that point you're essentially done. We just got to put the lower panel back in. Put the filter back in. It goes the other way. There we go. And I'm going to put these 2 Phillips head screws into the front panel right near the filter. And then I'll put the 1/4-inch screws here in the corner, lower left and lower right corner of the front panel. And let's run it and see if we get the flame now. So I'm going to say start. Yeah, there's our flame. So it's working. We got heat back. Okay, bottom panel is going to go in at a slight diagonal at the top, and then I'll push in the bottom and add the little 1/4-inch screws that hold in the bottom panel. Give it a try, and it's working.
Thanks so much for watching our video. Please leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. We really appreciate that. We have a really nice video coming up for you right here that I think you'll enjoy. Very similar, dealing with appliance repair. So thanks again for watching our video.